Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at a question of how we now use the trig ratios. So these are for clips 509 and 510. Hopefully the sound is going to be a lot better on this one. I'm still messing about with the settings because I'm playing with new software to be able to do these PowerPoints for you. Okay, so let's look at the first question. So if we've got a question like this, the first thing we need to do is we write SOHCAHTOA again. We're being asked to find side x. We write SOHCAHTOA, okay, and we label the triangle. So I've already done this, so you can see that opposite the right angle, where the 10 centimeters is written, okay, is the hypotenuse because it's directly opposite the right angle. Opposite the 63-degree angle is the opposite side, and that's x, so that's what I'm trying to find. And then between the right angle and this included angle again is the adjacent. Now, the adjacent, again, is something that I'm not trying to find. It's got nothing at all written on it, okay, so it's not going to help me. So if I cross out in my SOHCAHTOA anything that has the adjacent, okay, I'm left with using sine. So that's the ratio I'm going to use. So what I do is I write out that ratio, and I know that because it's S and then O and then H, that means it's the sine of the angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So now I have to substitute in the values. So I write sine 63 is equal to x is written on the hypotenuse, divided by 10. X is written on the opposite, divided by 10, which is written on the hypotenuse. Okay, now I've got to rearrange this because I'm trying to work out x. So I've got to make x a subject of the formula. So because 10 is being divided by, because x is being divided by 10, okay, I need to multiply by 10. So x is equal to 10 times by sine 63. Really important, make sure your calculator has degrees written all at the top or a little D, or you'll get these answers incorrect, okay? So make sure you've got a D at the top of your calculator. And when you type that in, you'll get the answer is equal to 8.91 to 2 decimal places. You always end up with really long decimal answers for these. Okay, so this is very much like the questions in 509. The questions in 510 need a little bit more rearranging. So let's have a look at another question where we're trying to find the sides. And again, I've gone forwards a little bit on this because we should be getting the hang of it. So if we look again, if we look here, first of all, I've got my question, trying to figure out what y is. Okay, so opposite the right angle is my hypotenuse, so I write on a h. Opposite the angle I've been given, okay, is O, so I put on my O. Okay, and between the angle I've been given and the right angle is my adjacent side, which has got an H written on it. Now, if I look at this question, okay, again, I'm trying to find H, need that. Got information about A, and I know nothing at all about O, and it isn't going to help me, okay? So I don't need O. So if I cross out the two trig ratios that have O in them, it means I'm left with using CA. So this is the cosine ratio. And again, we do the same as we did before. We use the order to write it out. So the cosine ratio is equal to the adjacent, that comes first, divided by the hypotenuse. Exactly the same again. We're going to substitute in what we know. So I know that cos 49, because that's my angle, is equal to the adjacent, which is 8, so put that in there, divided by the hypotenuse, which is y. Now you can see that y is now in the denominator of that fraction, okay? And to be able to get y as a subject, to work out y, we need to get it out of the denominator, release it from the denominator, okay, and get it to that top line. And we do that by multiplying by y first. So we multiply by y, and we end up with y is equal to the cosine, y multiplied by the cosine of 49 is equal to 8. Again, we're trying to get y by itself, so now we have to divide by that cosine 49. So y is equal to 8 divided by cosine 49. And when we put that into our calculator again, making sure it's in degrees, we end up that y is equal to 12.19 meters to 2 decimal places. Okay, so these are the couple of questions, examples that will help you work out clips 509 and 510. There's going to be another PowerPoint to help you work out the angles next. Okay,